Well, we're here in Maine, and this is our final week to be here. We've been here almost a month, and this week we're parked at an RV park. We'll be preaching tonight at a church in Rockland, and so we're at this small RV park. I'll see if I can't get it into view. In the background, about the center of the screen, you should be able to see one of our RVs. And right now I'm on a trail that leads down to the water area. And when we had gotten this RV park last time we came up, we had no idea what a gem this scenery is at this place. Because again, the RV park is very small and pretty difficult to get our trailer in here, but this trail is very steep. And I was going to try to show it on the camera, but I don't know if it'll even show up how steep it is. I kind of hate to even estimate the angle, but it is very steep going down through here. So when you're coming back up from the water, it will wear you out if you're not in shape. And apparently I'm not in shape. I'm not in shape. Maine is such a beautiful state. We always enjoy coming and getting to be with more of God's people. It was a joy to minister for Pastor Billy McCaleb at Beacon of Hope. And we also had the privilege of being with Pastor Tinsley. He's establishing a work in Union, Maine, and enjoyed getting to be with him. He's actually originally from Georgia, so we're glad that he's up there in Maine working for the Lord. Here we are at Arundel, Maine with Pastor Reynolds, and here I'm getting some help from his grandson setting up, and always enjoy being around children. And the children here at the church did a wonderful job at applying themselves to music, so we was thrilled to see that. Here's Pastor Reynolds, and we didn't get a picture this time, so I pulled some pictures from the last trip we made up to Maine of Pastor Reynolds and his wife and church family. Here we are at Brooks, Maine with Pastor Matt Shaw and his family. Got to be a part of a graduation service for their Christian school, and they had asked Sandy to play the piano for the event, and just honored to get to be with them on this special day for those two graduates. And we love Pastor Matt and his family. Had a wonderful revival there at Brooks, and he let us see his moose. And actually, for those that we have talked to you that we have ate moose meat, you're looking at the moose. And we actually got to see a live moose, but yeah, it was behind a chain link fence, but at least we can say we saw a live moose. And the guy at the wildlife park where we was at, he was very, very friendly, very informative, and he answered all of our questions, and super helpful, super friendly. So we certainly enjoyed getting to see this.
Like I said, we can't really give them enough of this. They'll just eat this all day long. They just love it. So. But they all come as babies. We don't have anybody here that gets born here. Because we have so many animals that come in from the outside. The game wardens will bring them if they find a baby, like we have a baby fawn up there right now, a baby deer that was found alone. I mean, a lot of times what will happen...
These are some of the nicest people you'll ever want to meet, and catching some sights here and there, which yesterday we went on a ferry that went to an island called Vinyl Haven. The port at Rockland, where we took the ferry from to Vinyl Haven, actually services two other islands. One is North Haven, and the other is Manikinus, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I looked online, and that's how it was pronounced. So if it's wrong, then you can blame the website that I went to. Manikinus is a 2-hour and 15-minute trip. So we decided to go with the Vinyl Haven one, which was a little bit shorter. Check out all the cars, dump trucks, cement trucks. I seen a cement truck, and we're getting on our ferry right there. We had discussed about taking our truck, but they'd let us know that as far as the waiting list, that we wouldn't be able to get back very quickly, so we decided to walk on board the ferry, which in hindsight I'm glad we did. It was very enjoyable just to walk on, and they made everybody stay off the deck while they was loading for obvious reasons, so that was kind of a final sweep. Just to peek out the window to see the harbor, or the harbor if you're a native. And so this ferry has two sections like you're seeing here for passengers. And we'll just go up and take a peek out the front. And we've just taken off, and I apologize for the video being so jumpy. I was trying to weave my way through. Check out the dump trucks. There's two dump trucks here, and they're fully loaded. That's just amazing for somebody that's not from around an area like this to see all that weight on one boat. You can see the Maine flag there as we go out the harbor area. And next, another ferry going past. And we're leaving the shoreline of Maine, going to the island of Vinyl Haven. And we couldn't pass this up. As we was going by, everybody had to take a picture of it. But my understanding is you can actually charter sailboats like this around the Maine area, and they will take you on a tour up to 10 days long. So you're actually on the boat for 10 days. And we passed by that lighthouse, which is Owl's Head Lighthouse. We toured that actually the last time we were in Maine. We took a day and went and toured that. We're on the ferry, Vinyl Haven Ferry, and I think we're just coming into Vinyl Haven. I think it's been about an hour's worth of a trip to get over here. That's Dad in the background, which I'm sure many of you already know what he looks like. Vinyl Haven is one of, I'm wanting to say 15, I may have my numbers wrong, but I think it's 15 islands here in Maine that they totally depend on ferry services like this. So it's neat to experience something so different than what we're used to. There's the Vinyl Haven name on the ferry. And there's the dump trucks offloading. Actually, the first one's already went out, but all the cars coming up behind it. So this is Vinyl Haven, just some shots from Vinyl Haven. I looked up right before we did the video, and there's like 1,100 people. According to the website, 1,140 people total live on this island. And you see that Fisherman's Co-op. I also looked to see how much lobster comes from this island, and according to what I read, daily, as a daily amount that goes out, 40,000 pounds of lobster a day goes out of this island. So for something that small, that's quite a bit of lobster if you ask me. And there's the truck that's hauling the lobster out. And let me make a correction. It actually says on a typical summer day, there would be 40,000 pounds of lobster going out from the island. So it's not full-blown summer, so I'm not exactly for sure how much would be on the truck. But if this were a typical summer day, then 40,000 pounds of lobster would be going out right now. Packed in seaweed, by the way. And there's a lobster boat coming in right now. So we had a terrific day on this ferry, and a cheap way to see a lot of good sights, and we would certainly do it again if we had the opportunity. So here we are back at Rockland, headed back home. You can see all the cars waiting to go. So if you're ever in Maine and you want to see some good sights, I highly recommend taking a ferry. Okay, we're almost down to the place I was wanting to show you. Let me swing this thing around. That's the trail we just came down. Behind me is a picnic area that this trail lets that into. But let me show you the true gem. Well, there's some lobster traps I can see right here. Speaking of lobster, I was reading the other day that in Rockland, where we took the ferry from, that town has an event where in that annual event, they process and eat, apparently, 19,000 pounds of lobster. Oh, whoa, whoa. Check that out. That's probably the guy that owns those lobster traps. I don't know if you can see that or not. The orange lobster traps I'm talking about. I don't know if you can see that or not. Well, man, maybe that guy will come over here. I can say something to him, because they're probably busy. That's a job to them. Check out that view. That is unbelievable. Again, this RV park is very small, so honestly, when we came in here, you don't really expect a whole lot, but man, a view like this is unbelievable. Let me spin this around so you can see. So I've cut to a video that Sandy took on the day we left. A fog had rolled in and it was mist and rain a little bit, but the colors were just absolutely amazing. So that view we have there is toward the RV park up the long hill that I came down earlier. You may can even hear some seagulls if you listen close. So that's our trip to Maine 2019, and this is also our first behind the scenes video, so we hope you've enjoyed the pictures and the video clips of this trip. Feel free to keep in touch with us. We'd always love to hear from you. You can leave a comment below on the comment section, or you can go to our website, theblythefamily.net. Well, we're here in Maine, and this is our last week to be up here. We've been here almost a month, and the mosquitoes are really bad.